Even if you don't have goals, I know there is something that you want, and it's about time you took action on that and made it happen. Hi bloggers, welcome back to ABOHTV. I know there are things in your life that you want and that you want to achieve. Even if you don't sit down every day and write out your goals or meditate or manifest things, all that fancy stuff that we're told we should do. Even if you don't think it's classed as a goal, there are still things you wish that you could achieve or things that you wish you were working towards. I also know that that thing is sat inside your head right now and is not doing you any good. Just thinking you'll wake up one day and it'll have come to fruition, you know as well as I do that that ain't gonna happen. So how you frame these things, whether it's a goal or something that you think, if it happened, it would be pretty cool. Whether you want it a little bit or a lot, the only way you are going to achieve these things is if you break down how you're going to make them happen. How do you stay motivated and reach your goals faster? I know you're excited to dig in, but before we do, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I make new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and I'm pretty sure that if you hit that little notification bell, you're going to be notified purposefully about when the next video comes out, and I really hope that's true. So how can you reach your goals faster and stay motivated while you're working towards them? Well, I think the first thing you have to realize is that this is up to you. You can choose to place the blame or compare yourself to the rest of the world to choose how your life is going to be, but I don't think you'd be here right now if you thought that that was a good idea. Quick reminder, it's not a good idea. Take control of your life, work towards that breakthrough, and focus on the things that are most important to you. What is something you really want to achieve? You might be able to think of 10 of these things, or maybe you have just one, but hopefully you can focus on a few of these things right now. Maybe aim for no more than 5, and I'll get onto the specifics a little bit later. But if you can say in your head what you really want to happen, write it down, because you need to get it out of your head and into the world, because it makes it feel a lot more real. And don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of the words. Don't be afraid of how big or scary it seems. Wrap your mind around it and allow yourself to think about it. What would the first step be? The next thing I want you to do is think about where you are in this present moment. I know you're watching a YouTube video, but I mean where you are in this moment in comparison to your goals. We're not going to look at the past. We're not going to blame circumstances. You're just going to look at your goal and say, okay, in terms of the journey, how far have I come already? Whether you're starting at 0 or you've done a little bit of work towards this already. Just be aware of the state of things right now and how it can be better, because that's where we're going next. It's simple, because if you don't know where you're starting from, then you won't be able to move forward. It's so easy to put yourself in someone else's situation and say, well, if I was where they were, then I'd achieve my goals so much faster and it'd be way easier too. Embrace who you are, embrace your situation, embrace what's happening right now, where you are in this moment, because recognizing that is so refreshing. It might be a little bit disappointing for some, but it's so refreshing because at least now you're aware of it. So write that down too, so you can clearly see between point A and point B what we're looking at. Now the real action starts and we can start doing something about it. You can see where you are, where you need to go, and what you need to do in order to get to that next breakthrough. You're not going to have all the answers to this, and that's a good thing, because you want to focus on the starting steps. Those things you can do right away. Those things that have to happen in order for you to achieve that thing. Write down starting steps first and then action steps if you know any more. And I want to make it clear that these shouldn't be mini goals as such. They should be tasks. Things you can actually do, not just milestones. Remember, you're trying to get from A to B. What are some of the starting steps you need to do in order to make that happen? And the way to know is that a lot of these things will look like necessities. These things will have to happen. They might not be fun sometimes, they might be difficult, but they're definitely going to pay off the more you do to get towards this breakthrough. Now, what I use to keep track of all of this is my monthly tending list in my PowerSheets goal setting planner. But what I'm basically trying to say is that if you want to boss it with your online presence, you need a plan that's going to help you work towards your goals every single day. Being the boss of your online presence doesn't mean being passive. It means being active. It means being active in the sense of making things happen and going in the right direction. It's easier than ever right now to get distracted by all the things you've got. Instagram, all the socials, everyone else telling you what you should be working on. But be really clear about what it is that you want so you can look at those action steps and not feel paralyzed or discouraged. If this is something you really, really want or want enough that it gives you purpose, then your starting steps and action steps might seem a little challenging. And you might not be sure how you're actually going to do some of those tasks yet, but you're going to feel more excited and motivated about those steps rather than sad or paralyzed with fear. If you look at the action steps you've written down for a certain goal and you think this is going to be an absolute nightmare, then you may have to realize that that goal just isn't for you. And that's great to recognize, scribble it out, get it out of the way, recognize that, okay, I admire other people for doing that, but it's not something that I want. That is fine, and it's better for you to get clear on that now. No one else is going to be able to tell you that except for you. Okay? Okay, so I said you need to write these action steps down, and I said you need to have an actual action plan, and I meant it. Take your notebook, go to your whiteboard. If you've got the PowerSheets goal setting planner, that's great. Whatever it is, PowerSheets do have some really good examples of how to formulate a tending list, so I'll leave a link to those in the description. But you basically want to write down what you're working on monthly, weekly, and daily in order to get towards that next breakthrough. And when you're picking your goals, remember to stay focused on what you want for yourself. Some of them might not need your attention until the future. Some of them may need your attention right now. Maybe you only want to focus on one thing right now. That's okay. Just fill in the starting steps for what you want to achieve, even if you don't know some of the other action steps right now. But I do recommend that you get all of this stuff out of your head and into real life onto something. I don't care, whatever it is. If it works for you, that's good enough for me. That's all you need to get started. Now, don't forget, just because you have a plan doesn't mean it's going to happen for you. It's going to give you a lot of clarity, it's going to give you a lot of next steps, but you need to take those next steps. You need to take action. So now combine those tasks with other things we talk about, like time blocking and being productive with your time. The great thing is you now have a list of priorities based on what you want to achieve. These are the things you need to do if you want to reach your goals. So you need to schedule them into your life. If one of your goals is to increase your blog traffic by 20%, then how are you scheduling those things into your life from your blog post process based on the starting steps and action steps that you wrote down? So that would be in terms of your content ideas, editorial calendar, promotional marketing plan, that sort of thing. All of those things you put in that column, how are you going to allocate them to blocks of time so you can work on them that week and hit that goal? If you want to start building a business from a side hustle, and maybe you've seen a little bit of success already, but you want more success, you want to make more money, what steps do you need to take? How are you scheduling that into your life? The time blocking and productivity habits we talk about in other videos are going to help you so much with taking action on this. You'll actually be able to go somewhere with it. I am so excited for you to get motivated with your goals right now. Do not waste any time. I know you're planning for a big year ahead of you, and maybe now this can be a part of it. So get started right away. And now I want you to go to the comments and share not one of your goals, you can keep those to yourself, but one of your starting steps. What's something you're going to do first? I want you to share a starting step you can take this week to get started on your goals. So leave that in the comments below. That's all for today, bloggers. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe for more strategy solutions so you can get one step closer to a breakthrough. You just bossed it.